Mike, what if your headlights aren't working on your car? Or how far can you drive when your oil light comes on?
Listen,
these are good questions.
They're all great questions. You ask, and every other Monday, he is here to answer.
Welcome back, Peter Fink of Certified Transmission.
Yes,
How
yeah, Peter.
are you?
Oh, great, great.
You just got back from Vegas, right?
Well, you got to say Vegas, but it's only because of the SEMA show,
Yeah, the
okay,
SEMA.
which is one of the largest automotive shows in the world, okay? 185,000 people. I'm really not a Vegas fan. I'm not ripping it or anything, but I mean, but I go for the show and all the vendors and the cars. It's awesome. I mean, if you're to the most automotive things, Barrett-Jackson in Scottsdale or SEMA in Las Vegas. So you do either one of those two. If you're a car person, oh my gosh.
Now, what do you take away from these shows?
You know, I mean, I get to see vendors there. We get to see some new products that are coming out. SEMA stands for aftermarket equipment, okay, specialty stuff, okay, and so high performance, okay, and heavily modified automobiles and things. And so you'll see a lot of different things, okay, and stuff. And so, yeah, it gives us possibly new products that we can offer our customers. They also have training there too, okay, to help people get better, okay, and stuff, to take classes and different things like that. So it's a great automotive event. Unfortunately, spectators can't even get into this. You have to be involved with a shop to go to it, okay,
Very
and stuff.
exclusive.
And yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, let's get this for
only 185,000 of us.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet if we wanted to sneak in, he might be able to know how to get
I could probably get you some passes to get in. But I don't want calls from everybody else that on the show now.
No.
And it's only once a year. It's the 1st of November always, okay?
So. Let's get to this first question because it comes from Jerry. Jerry writes, while I was driving tonight, my headlights went out in my 1997 Ford Explorer and then came right back on. It has never happened before. I just had a new alternator and a battery put in my truck. Could that be related?
You know, I'm going to say most likely. If it's never happened before, you know, one of the things we always look for in any car, and one of the questions we ask customers is, you know, when they come in with a problem, has anyone worked on your car? Because, you know what? Things happen, okay, and stuff. And so I would say yes, okay, and especially since this is an electrical problem, I would say we need to go back, check the battery terminals, make sure, clean the battery, check the cables, the connection on the starter, the connection on the alternator, because it's going to go through that circuit. I would have to think, since both headlights went out, headlights are on each individual circuit, okay, and stuff, and since both went out, you're talking about a main battery feed or a cable or something like that, okay? So I would think we got a loose connection or a dirty connection somehow or something like this. So I'd say go back and clean it, definitely. Obviously a very unsafe situation. You're not going to drive very far with your headlights off. I mean, if you're going down and they go off and you're doing 65, 70 miles an hour, could be very, oh God, it's a huge safety issue, okay? And that's why they got headlights on separate circuits, and they don't have fuses. They got circuit breakers that will reset, actually, and come back on because they realize how critical and safety this could be. So definitely need to recheck everything that was done and start there. And then try it. If it doesn't, then obviously we got to start doing some more research on that.
Yeah, but get on that right away.
Yes.
The next one's from Brianne. The oil light is on in my 2012 GMC Terrain. How accurate are those readers, and how soon should I get my oil changed? This is a good one. I always wonder this. I got to push the limits.
Well, first of all, any vehicle the oil light comes on, literally you don't want to drive it, okay? I mean, hopefully this question wasn't from yesterday or the day before and you're still driving around with the oil light.
Hopefully she figured it out, right?
Yeah. Hopefully she called somebody and stuff. I mean, if your oil light comes on, literally you need to get to a gas station or some service place or anywhere and check with your dipstick to see if it's really registering. If it's not, it's low on oil. That's the reason the light's coming on. It's low on oil. They're very accurate, okay? And by the time that light comes on, you're usually a couple, 3 quarts down, okay? That thing doesn't come on for just a half a quart or a quart, okay?
So those percentages are accurate.
Oh gosh, yes. Well, that's to change your, now I'm assuming she's talking the little red light. If she's talking about for the oil change, okay, the percentage, that's a different deal, okay? Obviously you can cheat and drive
Because there's
another.
a gauge that shows when you're low
On the
oil.
newer
Yeah,
car,
that's what's
that is
confusing.
correct. And I guess I took it that was low on
That's kind of
oil.
what I
Yeah.
Okay, not on the one that said needed an oil change. If it's the one that you need an oil change, obviously you want to get it done, but it's not an emergency. Okay, if you put another 500 miles on, it's fine. Okay, you know,
Right,
or
but
something
the
like
low-
this.
yeah.
And stuff. I assumed it was the red light
That's
that
kinda
came
what I did
on.
too.
Yeah.
Red usually means stop.
Stop.
Okay, you get it looked at, checked right away. Okay, so that's the one. If it's the oil change one, you got time.
Yeah, you got time.
Okay.
All right, let's get to this last question. It comes from Joe. Joe writes, when I turn my steering wheel to the left, I get a clicking noise in my 2013 Honda Pilot. I'm pretty sure it's a CV joint. How do I know which one needs to be replaced? And we were asking back there, what is a CV joint? What's the
Well,
CV?
CV is a constant velocity joint that's in your front wheel drive cars, okay? That is, in the old rear wheel drives, it was called a U joint or universal joint. In the front wheel drives, they got balls and sockets that are in there, and they call them a CV joint, okay, and stuff. There's two of them. There's an inboard and an outboard. The outboard one is usually the one that goes bad. But honestly, to try to replace the one is almost like the same cost as buying a new axle. So most people will just put a new axle in.
yeah.
You know, they're a couple $100. It's not really super expensive for the axle. Another $100 labor to put it in.
not
Okay,
bad, yeah.
I mean, not real
I'm
bad
thinking axle, I'm
considering.
thinking
Yeah. I
you're
mean,
in
you
the
know, when you
thousands, but
think
no.
rear axle on a rear wheel drive, I mean, you're talking a couple $1,000s or something. So it ain't really too bad. To find the noises are really hard. Okay, you're going to get it on a hoist. You're going to start turning the steering wheel and try to figure out. One of the first clues is see if you got a torn boot. If it's got a torn boot, it lost its grease, and that's the one that the axle's bad on. Okay,
Gotcha.
stuff. So.
Well, that's a lot of gearhead information, so hopefully that person knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Certified Transmission, 5 area locations, certifiedtransmission.com. Thank you, Peter Fink.
Thanks for
Good
the
to see
help
ya.
this morning.
No
We'll see you
problem.
soon.